sculptor is somebody who designs and shapes three-dimensional works of art. Welcome to the Winspreneur show, Navneet. Today we have Navneet Sandhu with us, who is a leadership consultant and a sculptor. She puts life into a life of a leader. She puts, the three-dimensional change into leaders. And today we will learn what is the story behind somebody who molds, shapes leaders. So Navneet, such a pleasure to have you here on the Winspreneur show. Tell me something which I ask everybody. What's the story? How did Navneet Sandhu become the leadership and, the sculptor that she is? Uske piche aap leader kaise bane? What shaped your story? Tell me something. बिल्कुल बचपन से चलना.
अच्छा ठीक है. Thank you, Gaurav. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you for the lovely introduction. So we'll start from the beginning, and then we'll come to the leadership part of it. Okay. So I was born in an army family. My dad was in the army. I am the middle child, so an elder sister and a younger brother.
Shukar hai munda aa gaya.
I think that was the plan. So good I was number 2 and not number 3 or down the road, right? So it was a lovely childhood, Gaurav, because way back then army life was very nice.
Lots of travel.
Papa used to get posted every 2.5 years. Nice, so just a couple of things that are very important from my childhood is that one, my mother was very insistent that we will not go to Kendriya Vidyalayas.
The KVs.
KVs nahi jana hai, mere bacche convent mein hi padhenge. So every 2.5 years, ye hamari drill hua karti thi. She would take us to the new place, sit in front of principal's office in a convent, and you are waiting for the principal to tell you, okay, elder child this class, middle child this class, the younger child this class.
So what happened there? You were moving from place to place,
yes.
And I've come across some army kids. Like I have within my family also, my sister's married into an army family. But the normal struggle jo aata hai and what people talk about is the same thing that you are positive about.
Yes.
That there was a lot of movement, and they said, do you actually, have to make friends again? Did you go through that? That, hey, I have to make, refriend and make friends again? And how much was that affecting you?
So at the time, it wasn't a welcome thing, honestly, because like you rightly said, when you are in your school and growing up days, you form your friendships and then you don't want to leave your friends.
True. And that age is very...
Correct. So, we used to complain to both our parents, why do we need to shift, But in hindsight, Gaurav, you realize what it has built up.
Wow.
So the resilience, flexibility, agility, the
adaptability,
the flexibility. I mean, it is just that you can form, friendships really fast. You know how to adapt to a new environment. You know how to, start dealing with strangers, how to kind of find your way. And many times we used to end up being in the middle of a school session, right? So, how do you catch up to the 6 months, 5 months you've missed and all that. So it was, I think, in hindsight, it was a great, great journey.
Wonderful. I mean, all those listening, don't shift your kids just because it's good. I mean, it was an experience. Her experience. Wonderful. Okay, then you're growing up.
Growing up, and Gaurav, if you look at my life, or when I look at my life in hindsight, there have been some major turning points in my life.
And inflection points in life,
correct.
Which
has shaped me.
To
who I am today. So I think those are things that I would definitely like to talk about.
Absolutely.
So I left India after my class 10th. I went abroad. I went to Canada. And this is way back in 86.
Okay.
Right, so way back. And you're guessing how old is she, right?
No, the viewers are wondering कि मैं पैदा हुआ था कि नहीं.
I am sure काफी नहीं हुए थे. So this is way back in 86.
Yes. Okay.
And and at that time when I went to, so that was the next big thing in my life. because in those days there were hardly any Indians there, right?
Now that's shocking, right?
That is shocking today, yes. But at that time, one of like
Any started as
right? So yeah, there were hardly any Indians, and I used to be the only Indian in the entire class.
Wow.
Right? So in high school, same story. I finished my 10th. I did my high school like 11th, 12th, and 13th because I went to Toronto, Ontario. So they had till grade 13 at that time.
Okay.
So 3 years there, the only Indian. Okay. And then I went to university. I went to the University of Western Ontario. And the first year, you have like, you have this huge auditorium and you have some 300 children there and you are the only Indian.
Now that's in Canada.
Right.
Now we've kind of taken it over. We've kind of taken it over.
Yes.
The settlement has started reverse settlement.
And so that was my story. So those were the growing up years. Lot of learning. You would stand out in the crowd. I was a science student. Hardcore science student, as in like calculus, botany, zoology, inorganic chemistry, organic chemistry, all of that. Okay.
That's all the terms she knows by now. Baki hame kuch nahi aata.
True. I just learned a few for the show. Right?
I mean, organic chemistry, inorganic chemistry. Oh my God! I'm getting chills. I was always scared of these subjects.
But this wasn't a long-lasting thing because over there the beautiful thing about the education system is each one of you nowadays in India also, I think, you get a counselor, right?
The guidance
counselors, correct. And the guidance counselor asked me that, what do you want to be? And this was first year university and I didn't even blink an eye and I was very confident. I said, I want to be a medical doctor, right?
Okay.
Because remember, the engineer or doctor was the thing. And so she looked at me and she took a pause and she said, who in your family wants you to be a doctor?
Oh.
And that was a pin drop moment for me.
Amazing. So that one reflection, that introspection at that time, that there is your decision, the choice is yours.
Yeah.
I think that's how everything changed, probably for you and probably for many people when they do realize that they do have a choice. You're not living somebody else's dream or somebody else's life, or somebody else is not making the choices for you.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
So it was obviously my mother's influence on me. And so, what she suggested to me was, why don't you take subjects from a variety of different faculties?
Have a feel of it.
Correct.
And then see what you
So
like.
they give you that option, right? Wow. So even though you've taken admission into sciences, they give you the option. So I could take economics, I could take dramatic arts,
Wow.
I could take speech.
Wonderful.
Right? And I could take business, right?
That is opportunity.
Yes.
That is where you get a different kind of exposure, and it's almost you are at a lovely this restaurant and you can taste different cuisines.
Absolutely.
And you're like, Acha, now do I like
it's like
Thai?
a buffet,
Yeah, do I like Thai or do I like French food?
Exactly.
Something like that.
So I think that is where my eyes and ears and my brain started expanding, right?
Wow.
My mind started expanding. And when I took on like a speech course, although even in school when I was in India, I was always encouraged. I did participate in debates, declamation and all that. I think all three of us did because it was a given thing in our house. So when that thing started coming in, I realized that actually I have a flair for speaking.
Oh.
Right? And also I said, too much work, calculus, sense me bandra,
and all that chemistry.
Correct, all that, So
let's create chemistry elsewhere.
Yeah. Although biology was a strong subject, but still physics and chemistry was something that wasn't working out well for me. So then I actually ended up doing my business, my bachelor's degree in a mix.
Okay.
So I am actually a bachelor in arts and science mix.
Humanities.
It's called
liberal arts.
Yeah.
Liberal arts.
So they didn't call it liberal arts at that time.
Okay.
On my degree, it says bachelor's in arts and science mix.
Arts and
That's
science.
yeah.
Wonderful.
So good amalgamation happened there, and then I worked there for a bit, and and then I got married.
Okay.
Okay.
In Canada, here?
No, he was from here,
Okay.
and then he came there,
Okay.
and I was still studying.
Hmm.
I hadn't finished my degree as yet. So,
That's too early. When you were studying and you got married.
Yeah, it was too early.
Okay.
I mean, I wish I had better sense than
Choices.
Yes,
Sometimes
yes.
choices, and again, some people do influence, and
Absolutely.
those decisions are taken because
Correct.
we've been conditioned so.
Absolutely.
So it's
Absolutely. So I think a lot of it was that, and then things happened, and then I had my son. I just had the one son, but the marriage did not work out, and so I'm a very happy single mother, and my son is all grown up.
Oh, wonderful. What's the young gentleman called?
The young gentleman is called Derek.
Hi, Derek. If you're watching, that's your mom there.
Yeah, hi, Derek. And he's in Toronto.
Wonderful.
Because he finished it. So I moved back. The family moved back when he was only a year old.
Okay.
Because I was also, quite insistent that I want him to study in India. The same journey that I had had.
Oh,
Because if you've studied here, I feel, it's my belief, that if you've studied here, you've gotten the basic values, beliefs, culture is in.
And
You've learned about
you've kind of got a survival instinct also.
Correct.
And that,
So that was my way of looking at it. So brought him back when he was very young. In fact, he studied here in Chandigarh. He was in St. John's,
wonderful.
and he did his 10th from here. And then he had pretty much made up his mind. Derek was like, I don't want to go to an IIT. Mom, what's the point of doing +2 from here and all that? So I said, okay, what do you want to? He says, I want to go abroad. So after his 10th, he moved.
So how much did your decisions as a mother be influenced by how you were as a child and how you took those decisions and those choices that you talked about and you had?
Yeah.
Were you almost like wanting to give those choices to your child, or you were still a better version of your mother?
I think I wanted to give him a lot of choices.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why, Gaurav. I think where I became different from my upbringing or from my mother was that, I got into another relationship after the first one didn't work out. And the second one also didn't work out. And that was a moment of transformation.
Okay.
Right? And I just made a promise to myself that I have a child that I need to look after. And, I will do everything that I can to find some identity for myself, as well as make sure that I provide a solid identity for my child.
So these are the transformations that mold us. This is what builds our character and our personality. We don't notice it, but you've got so many dots there. The inflection points that have shaped you, and this decision. Probably that, hey, I want to be more than anything independent. I want to carve out my own professional life, professional paths, and then also be a mother who can provide, a great upbringing for my child, and so that you can give him choices that he can make on his own.
Absolutely. Right? And that's when, Gaurav, actually I think about it, that's when my second innings started. Right?
Wow.
And I was fairly young. I was still in my 30s at that time. And I said, okay, I need to do something. So I went back, I did my MBA. I did an executive MBA.
Wonderful.
I finished that. And then I started looking out, and I'd already started dabbling a little bit when I moved back to India. The BPO industry was just coming up. And they needed trainers. Right? And they didn't, it was very expensive for them.
BPOs, the business process outsourcing.
Yes, you guys are wondering. So I got a job pretty much sitting at home.
Training people on
Absolutely.
communication skills, the language,
That's
how to
it.
talk to people.
Accent,
And
business,
you have come
English,
from
culture, all of that. So I was
Wonderful.
a perfect fit into that role. That's where I became a trainer. That's where I learned those platform skills.
Wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful. So you took your passion for speaking and you combined it with an opportunity to work, and you became a trainer for the
For
youngsters,
international call centers, yes.
international call centers, teaching. Wonderful, amazing, amazing. And how long did that go, and when did you become an entrepreneur?
So that happened for about a couple of years, and then I said, okay, I can't do this. So one thing you will notice in my journey is, Gaurav, I do something, but then I seek something more, right? So I'm a seeker for experiences.
No, but that has more to do with you seeking stimulation, that stimulation of mind. At the end of the day, maybe you get stuck at that. Hey, where's my growth? So a person moves on. A person moves on to wherever they find more growth, where they find that stimulation that I was talking about.
So pretty soon after that, I actually started doing things on my own. And throughout this journey, what has happened is that there is one consistent pattern that I have noticed with me. Things just come to me. There's a way that destiny has played its part. And so when I came back from Canada, I had I didn't even have a dream of working. I thought I have a small baby. Let me look after the baby and just enjoy chill. India, help hogi, wo sab hoga, to chill karte hain, right? And that didn't happen because I got the job offer and my family kind of nudged me, go. So what started off with 2-3 hours per day started expanding to 8 hours, 10 hours per day. So that was really good again, because that made me the trainer that I am. A part of me was formed there. And then after that, what happened is that after, when I was at my lowest with a small child, I just stumbled upon, Stephen Covey's book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And so I just picked up the phone. I called them one day, the Gurgaon office, and I said, listen, are you looking for trainers? Is there an opening? And as luck would have it, it was the person who is in charge there, and he says, where are you calling from? And I said, I'm from Chandigarh. And there was a friend of mine who we were together in Hero Mind, and we decided to do this by ourselves. And he said, okay, can you ladies come over to Gurgaon? And the next day, we took a Shatabdi. We took the train, we went to Gurgaon, and the next thing we know, we are onboarded.
Amazing. So, it's all about showing up.
Yeah.
You made that, you found that thing, you made a call, and the rest is history.
Yeah. Right? And then they trained us. The next 1 week, I was in Train the Trainer on the 7 Habits program. And they gave me this whole story. It takes 6 months, 8 months for the journey. But again, destiny has a hand to play. One of their senior trainers was just leaving because of some personal reasons. And they needed a trainer. And I got a call, I just finished my Train the Trainer. And the next thing I know, Monday, I get a call saying, can you come over because we need someone to deliver? And I bypassed all of those 6 months thing. Wow. And I was in front of a live audience delivering the 7 Habits program.
Yeah, wonderful. But your base was so strong.
It was. I think it did. Yeah.
You had all the ingredients to deliver that without, that experience was already there.
Absolutely.
And that presence, handling the audience, handling the, so.
And wonderful. I guess that was their confidence level in me as well. So.
Okay, so you started there, and where are you today?
So I did that for about 7 years.
7 years.
In fact, I was the one who was doing all their open programs.
Oh.
Open programs, anybody can participate. So I used to have, I have had participants as young as 16 years old, and I have had participants 80 plus.
Oh my
God.
So 16 to 18, and this is a leadership program.
This is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, which is a tricky program. It's a powerful program because everybody associates with it. But the trick is, how do you handle an audience as diverse as that? 16 to 80, I mean, imagine the mindset different. And of all the things, that program was in Chennai.
And the language.
So look at me, Gaurav.
I'm not going there. I'm not I don't even know what she means by that.
I don't look South Indian from any
No, we're not going there. No, we're not going there. Yes, there will be differences in the
So
ways
there
we
was
look.
like resistance. I could
Yeah.
feel it in the room.
Yeah.
I could feel the resistance coming from men. I could feel it coming from, just different culture.
They were just in love with you. That wasn't resistance.
They were probably looking at me and saying, what can you tell us, right? Think, no, I don't think it was love, right?
No, but let's stop at that 7 years with them.
Yeah.
Along the way, you haven't told me what major challenges you faced.
So like challenges like this, right?
Okay,
So
where
you're a
no
single,
different.
you're a single mother.
Yeah.
You're trying to find your ground, right? Guilt of leaving your child behind and
Wow.
going to all these places. I used to go to all these
You
major
had to
cities.
travel.
I had to travel.
You had to go to Gurgaon often.
Gurgaon, Delhi, Mumbai, Hyderabad, Chennai, Bangalore, Kolkata. It was like a regular thing. Even Bhopal in between, so those smaller towns as well. And so going and leaving your child behind, leaving it to the nanny and saying, okay, I'll be back, and then managing on the phone there and all of that. And then facing this, So when the 7 Habits journey was going on, there was another invitation to come and join a few others. So I don't join anybody full time. I've always worked with people just as a as a freelancer or as
Consultants,
correct.
and fractional.
Correct, because I'm very mindful of that I didn't want to, because I wanted to give my time equally at home to my son, right? And
Because there's another feeling that, hey, one is employment, the other is I'm working with you.
So I always came aboard as a partner, never as an employee.
Yes,
right?
wonderful.
So that I think 7 Habits was a big churn for me, right? And Gaurav, every time I was facilitating that program, something deep inside me churned. Every time.
So by delivering those 7 habits of effective people, you were actually inculcating those same habits into you.
Yeah, and you don't recognize that on a daily basis, but that's a process, right? And I think that's where a lot of shift happens.
Wonderful.
Whether you talk about confidence, esteem, just having the ability to stand in front of people. I mean, not just 7 Habits. After that, I worked with a Singapore-based company. I worked with a Mumbai-based company with the development dimension, Center for Creative Leadership.
So
that is how
I would say the
leadership.
self-belief, the flair,
yes.
the development of your own personality,
the finesse of delivering something like
Sculptor,
and so one thing stands out in my memory. I was working for Bharti Resources, that is the arm of Airtel Bharti, which was into leadership development, and I went to a program to do a program in Mumbai for Rolls-Royce. Okay, and there was this whole build up around me from the Bharti Resources team that look older, because I wasn't that old at that time, and these are very, very senior people who work with Rolls-Royce.
Did they make you up?
Yeah. So actually, because the lady who went before me who had gone to meet the client, she told me, she wore fake glasses and went like without any power, right? And so I'm being told all this, and I'm like, should I be the one doing this? Maybe somebody with white hair.
Image and perception. Image and perception.
Absolutely.
Right? So it matters.
Right. So and so there's been lots of stories. And so, I sat down and I remember I'm speaking to the person who said to me, and I'm like, are you sure? He's like, I don't doubt your capability, but look older. I'm like, what do you want me to do, right? And so I had glasses. I said, I'll wear my glasses for sure.
Abhi asli hai nakli hai.
Then he asked me, what I hear. So but she had gone with the one, which was a joke all around. And so I went there, and Gaurav, imagine my absolute horror. Okay, I walk into the room, Rolls-Royce the office mate. And this is the absolute leadership of India. Like, I mean the top 6 people of Rolls-Royce India. And I walk in looking like a real bacha. And I looked at the room, and these guys were already there in the room, right? And my heart just stopped. I was like, oh my God. When they told me, they didn't tell me this, right? And then, I think I went into a hijack, which we call the amygdala hijack in our management terms, which is like, the fight, flight, or freeze. And I just froze, I think. And this gentleman who was at the helm of leadership, who was the MD of the organization, he walked in and I guess he could figure it out. So he just went and he shook hands with me. He says, "Good morning, Ms. Sandhu." I said, "Yes." And he says, "We are waiting for you." And then actually he took me aside and he says, "You have nothing to fear." He says, "This is your domain. We are here to learn from you.
What?
So do your best and tell us what you are here to do." And that 1 minute of him spending that time just calmed me down.
And
importance of a good leader.
And the way you told that story, that would have calmed your nerves for all future such episodes.
Yes.
Actually,
Yes.
Once
and I still remember it so vividly, right?
Because I still know that every time I'm speaking in front of an audience, or even it can be anybody, I still have a little butterflies. Or
We do. Yes. That's
slightly,
natural.
Because you know your stuff, so you're very comfortable. But you still need a response from the people who are listening to you and everything. So
butterflies are okay, guys. Absolutely okay.
Apne to mothballs.
All of that sweaty palms, that feeling in the stomach, the dry throat, all of that is okay.
All that everybody's experienced. Hardly, seldom anybody comes and accepts it, right? But that's the good stuff. That's what really builds you up. So wonderful. And what are you doing these days?
So this was about now being in the leadership, learning and development part of the corporate world or the learning journey for about 24 years now.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and about 13 years ago, which was a natural progression for me, I became a coach.
You became a coach.
Yes. So that has also been about a 13-year-long journey.
Wonderful. And having a coach in life is so important.
Yeah.
Somebody who can almost, you mold people, but it's more like, fixing that mindset, that, the 7 habits of effective people. I think it's all about like learning from people who've experienced life in a different way and can, if you can connect their dots, if you can make them introspect and look inside and find themselves, I love the work this fellow Simon Sinek does on finding your why.
Finding your why.
And that finding your why is more about, this is what a coach would extract out, and lovely. I've so she says nothing's fall in place for her. That's pretty true. We bumped into each other. I asked her once, like, "Hey, would you, please come on the Winspreneur show?" She says, so, and that's it. Wonderful. And now, we've set your expectations so high. No butterflies. But if you were to give the best 3 advices, the best pieces of advice and inspiration to anybody who's watching, what would that be? All yours. Go for it.
Okay. I would say that 1, don't be afraid of experimenting with self.
Beautiful.
Right? I think that has been my mantra for life, right? And I'll continue to do that. So
let's again, don't be afraid to experiment with
self.
With yourself.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So take the leap of faith. Even if something comes to you accidental, just go for it, what will happen? You will not succeed to a certain level. That's okay. You will learn, right? You will learn from it and you'll move on.
Wonderful.
So, and that's a lot, right? Because I work, like you rightly said, with leaders and I work with them on themselves, on their self. So we always say, we never coach a problem. We always coach a person.
Wow.
Right?
Wonderful.
So it's the holistic person always. It's not just one part of the person. And so that will be 1. I would say work on yourself. Second would be that be open to learning. Learn, unlearn, relearn. It's a continuous cycle and be okay with it.
Wonderful.
And the third one would be, whatever life throws at you, right? Don't look at it negatively. look at it, how can you convert that into something which would really empower you?
I love this one because Winspreneur, the wins is that finding those, focusing on the positive, the optimism part of it, just focus on the positive, the win. That's what you're also saying, that hey, don't focus on the negativity and the negative people or the negative, whatever comes across, focus on the positive and the wins, right?
Yeah. And I'm not saying that be foolishly optimistic, Gaurav. That's not the message I'm giving. But I'm saying be realistic. Okay, if something's happened to you, and believe me, something or the other will happen to each one of us, right? कईयों को ज़्यादा मात्रा में मिलता है, कईयों को कम में मिलता है, but it will come, right? I think what's important, and that's what helped me a lot, is to sit down and have a conversation with self, right? And you sit down and you actually process it, and that is the work I do these days. I get into all of these processing of emotions, processing of things that people are not possibly able to do it on their own. I was able to do it because I went into transformation work. So after doing the 7 habits, I went into transformation work. So you get into ontological coaching, you get into holistic coaching, you get into all of those things, right? But the thing is that, a coach or somebody, if they can help you, a mentor can help you get over it, please, please, please go for it. Because I think that is where you really understand yourself and you make something out of your life.
See, this is so nice. We're coming to the end of it, but this is great advice because, what I can, bring together is that if you can be honest to yourself, if you can really understand yourself and you can look within and you can find your own strengths and weaknesses, you can understand. If you understand yourself, nobody does actually better than you. It's just that you're not looking deep enough. You're not looking inside. You're in that comfort zone where you're actually afraid to be truthful to your own self. Yeah, is that?
You said it beautifully, Gaurav. That's exactly it.
So I mean, that being said, guys, when I've been trying to bring this together, it's to learn, to hear the stories of beautiful people like Navneet, to learn from what they have gone through. Learn about, those dots that were created that transform you. And then at the end of the day, you have to find you. And that's what it's all about. Guys, we make this effort just to bring some value into your lives. So if you do like what you see, please do subscribe. You get good karma for life. And do leave a comment. Do leave a comment as to what type of people you want to be here. Who do you want to learn from? Who do you want to listen to? Which story would you like to listen to? And we'll try to bring that story here. That being said, thank you so much for watching the Winspreneur show. I wish you good karma for life. And thank you so much to be on. She was brilliant, right? She was brilliant. She's natural. She's got that flair. Love it. Love it. Love it. Thank you so much for being on the Winspreneur show. Please do ask your lovers, everybody to please subscribe.
I will do that. Thank you so much for having me on board here, Gaurav. It's been an absolute joy and I wish you all the best for your show.
Thank you so much.
Way to go. Thank you. Bye-bye.